it's Anja here, and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. And today we are looking at this blanket here. Now it's not a big blanket that I've made, it's a pram sized blanket, but oh my goodness, do I like this design. It's a pinwheel hexagon and you attach it on the second row, so it's really efficient to be making this for a blanket because you keep on adding to it. So in this blanket I have used the pack that my mum put together, and although yes, as you can see, there are lots of other colors in there as well, I particularly wanted to make a girly baby blanket, and so now I have all those blues and greens left over for a boy blanket as well. And of course, how pretty would it look if you made this with all the 15 colors in a huge blanket? So let me show you how I've made this. There's raspberry, violet, proper purple, burgundy, magenta, boysenberry and plum. I am using my 3.5. So let's get started at making the pinwheel hexagon. So you're going to make your slip knot and make it whichever way you usually make it. Insert your hook and we're going to get started by chaining 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then we go back to that first chain, you go into it and you yarn over, pull it through and pull it through the loop on your hook, so you've made a slip stitch. We now have made the inner of our pinwheel, and it's a little bit bigger than with a normal granny square, but that's what we need, of course. Now we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. These stand for your first treble. 5 and 6, and these 2 stand for your chains in between. So now we are going to start doing trebles and 2 chains in between. So for a treble, you yarn over twice. You're going to go back to this circle that we made here, and we're going to insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we have made a treble. Now we're going to chain 2, then again we're going to do a treble into the circle. So I've yarned over twice, and can you see that I'm trying to take along my end here so that it's sort of sewn in automatically a little bit? You know, it all helps. So into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 2 and another treble. So we are going to do this until we have created 11 trebles, and of course this chain counts as a treble, so we need 12 of these trebles in our circle. So I'm just going to keep going and make my trebles. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So one more. So chain 2 and another treble into the circle. I do recommend you count in this row because you will need your chain spaces later on, and otherwise if you don't have enough, you're in trouble. So I've done my last chain 2. Now here, this is that chain 6 that we did in the beginning. The first 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, count for your treble, and the next 2 count for your chain space. So I'm going to go into the 4th chain. I'm going to try and pick up 2 strands because that will help for it not to expand, and I'm going to do a slip stitch there. So this is the first round of our pinwheel hexagon, and now really we're in the wrong place. So I'm just going to do a slip stitch into the next chain space. There we go. And that has just brought us into a better location to get started for the second and last round. Now, the first pinwheel you are going to finish completely, as I am going to do now, obviously with you, to show you how to make it. But then from then on, from your next pinwheel, you will be using that second round already to join. So I will show you that, of course, as well. So first of all, we're going to get started by doing 2 chains. So in the first round, we did trebles. In the second round, we are going to be doing double crochets. Okay, so this is the height for a double crochet. And then I'm going to place another 2 double crochets into that same chain space. There. So that's one of our sides done. Now, a hexagon has 6 sides and 6 corners. We have 12 openings. So we are going to have to do a side, a corner, a side, a corner. So alternatively, we will work 3 double crochets for a side. Now in this next one, we're going to do a corner, and a corner is made up of 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets. So into that same chain space. So here, as you can see, we've done a side and we've done a corner. Next chain space is going to be a side of 3 double crochets. Next chain space, a corner. 2, 2, 2. That's how I remember it. There we go. See, look. So we've already done 2 sides and 2 corners. Now another side, 3 double crochets. So in a way, it's quite easy to remember what you need to do, because you're just switching between 3 double crochets or doing a corner of 2 double crochets, 2 chains and 2 double crochets. Okay, so just checked to make sure that I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners. I have 6 sides actually, and so here I have to do my last corner. Always make sure you have a little look to see if everything is in order. There we go. And then here we are going to do a slip stitch. So skip these 2 under the 3rd V, and we do a slip stitch, and that is the end of our first pinwheel. So you can cut off the yarn, and there we go. So this is our first square done. Now, like I said, for attaching the next square, we are going to be doing that already in the second round. So I have made my square ready here. So I've done the first round, nearly completed the second round, but of course we're only attaching on one side for now. So I am stopping here in that corner. So let me just show you where I stopped. So I did my side, and then I did my half a corner, so 2 double crochets and 1 chain. Then you go over to your previous hexagon and you go into the corner chain space like so, and you wrap the yarn around and you do a little slip stitch like that, attaching it. Then you do your chain, and then you continue doing your corner. So you do your 2 double crochets. Now, before you start doing your side of 3 double crochets, you're going to go over to the previous hexagon, and you go in between the section where you are now. So after those 2 double crochets, you go in between there, you do a little slip stitch, not too tight, and then you go back to the hexagon that you are working on, and you do your 3 double crochets. Once you've done those, you go back to the previous hexagon, go in between where you are now, and you do a slip stitch. Then again here we are now ready to do the corner, so we are doing 2 double crochets and a chain, and then to complete here we're going to go into the chain space, do a little slip stitch, a chain, and then we complete our corner on our current square. Then of course you do your slip stitch to close the round. So here, as you can see, yes, and they do sort of curl a little bit, but it's fine because you can always still just nicely press them down like that. So this way we have attached both the hexagons together, and we are on our way to make a blanket. So now I'm going to do the next one. Okay, so I'm on to the next one. I've just made the middle, then the outside, but I stopped at my 5th corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5th corner. And then you go into, and you do the same thing as before. So of course, this way you're going to make a long row, and then you can start doing your 2nd row. Now, the attaching for the 2nd row is slightly different, so let me show you how to do that in a moment. So when you start putting on your pinwheels onto your next row, you have to do less of your 2nd round before you start attaching. So here I've now done 3 corners, and now I'm going to be attaching 3 corners. So I've just stopped after my side here. So I'm just going to start my 4th corner. Chain 1, then into this one here, and you do a slip stitch, and you continue the same way as we did before. And then the side, attaching it again. And then here you're going to do your corner. So you do your 2 double crochets, 1 chain. And then really here, you just have to look where you think it's the best to go in. I don't go in there, I don't go in here, but I go in here. Just so that it's in the middle and that it doesn't pull, but I might, just yarn it round and do your little slip stitch. There we go. See? Chain 1, and then you continue doing your corner on your current square, and then of course you're ready to be doing the slip stitch, and then you do your side, there we go, and you each time you slip stitch it in. And then of course here you have your corner, you go over to the other corner there and you connect it and you finish it. There we go. So this is the way you're going to be doing your first one. But of course now, the next one, you will be attaching even more. So you'll be attaching this one, and this one. So let me show you. Okay, so unfortunately I did blind dip and it was burgundy. Sorry, it's a bit dark for the video, I know, but I'm sure by now you know what to do. I'm just going to show you how to attach, of course, here, where we will be attaching 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. So I have already done 2 of my corners, half a corner done here, starting here, and again it's the same thing, but you're just doing more sides attached to your blanket or to whatever it is that you are making. I'm going to turn this into a pram blanket. I need a girl's baby blanket, so I thought I would make this into a lovely little girly blanket. And you know, with all the colors that I have going here, I thought that would make a lovely little blanket. So I'm doing the corner here, so in between these two to attach the middle of my corner, and continue with your corner. Then of course we're on to the following hexagon, so into there, do your slip stitch and continue working on your side. Again into the other hexagon, do your slip stitch and you can start your corner, chain 1, go in between the 2 hexagons. There we go, chain 1, finish the corner, and then of course here into the next hexagon, do a side, and there we go. On to the next corner, chain 1 into the magenta hexagon, and we finish our corner. And we finish our round. Do a slip stitch into that V, and there we go. See? So here we have connected the hexagon on 3 sides. And so this is how I am going to keep going to create my blanket. So this is what it turned into. Oh my goodness. It was great fun making these hexagons, and just sort of, you know, every time you made one, you knew it was going to be attached straight away. So there was no piles of hexagons waiting to be assembled, and you could see it grow, you know, all the time. Okay, so when I'm measuring this blanket, it's 75 centimeters or just about 30 inches long, and the width is 21 inches or 54 centimeters. So I think that makes a good blanket for in a pram, not too big also for in a pushchair, because again it will cover up baby or the baby's legs but not drag along the floor in the pushchair. So I think it's a good size. So let me show you how to do the border. Okay, so let's get started on our border. I'm still using my 3.5, making my slip knot, insert my hook, and we're just going to get started on a straight piece here, just in the middle there. Insert, pull up a loop and just yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on your hook. So basically we've done a single crochet, and I think, to be honest, that this is going to be plenty to just I don't know. I don't really want a border. What I want with this blanket is just to sort of settle down the edges. I don't know whether that makes sense. So I'm just going to put a single crochet border all around. And when I get to a chain space here, which is a corner chain space and a tip, I'm going to do 3 single crochets in there. So one could be for the side, one could be for the tip, and one could be for the side. So that makes a nice sort of corner there. And then of course you continue making your single crochets along the side. But then of course here we are going to be meeting, yes, 2 corners, which of course make a little valley for us. So I'm going to put a single crochet in the first one, but I'm not going to finish it. So that means you just pull up a loop. Then I'm going to go into the opposite chain space here, and I'm also going to pull up a loop, and then I'm going to finish in one go. So really I've done 2 single crochets finished together, and then you continue placing your normal single crochets on top of the V's of the stitches on the side. So if you now look at it, look, it's lying nice and flat, and we've got that single crochet together, and that makes the little dip there as well. So we've got our little tips here, and we've got our little dips there. And this is how you are going to continue all along your blanket. So I've just made it all the way around, so just a slip stitch after that standing stitch that's closed up for me. There we go, and we are done. So all I need to do now is cut off the yarn and sew in these 2 ends, because I've already done all the other ones. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.